Anyone that knows me knows I'm passionate about making my business as sustainable as possible. I'm also passionate about making it as cost effective too, and the two things kind of go hand in hand, which is why I was surprised when I read a survey conducted by the Federation of Small Businesses saying that 22% of respondents, so nearly a quarter of all the people who took the survey who are small business owners, said that the reason they're not addressing their energy efficiency of their business is lack of capital. This seems crazy to me because there's so many things that you can do that don't cost a penny and will actually save you money and increase your profits. So I thought I'd do this quick video, 10 top tips for a small business who wants to address their energy efficiency, be a greener company without hurting your pocket at all. So number one, first thing you can do is just switch things off. Every time you leave a room, if you leave the office, if you're working from home and you're in another room, switch the lights off. If you're not using a laptop, switch it off. Don't put it in standby mode because that can use what's called phantom power. Just switch anything off you're not using, and this will help decrease your energy bills, which will in turn increase profits. Number two, if you can, become as paperless as possible, or ideally a completely paperless office. So this won't cost you anything to implement. You can switch to literally emailing invoices to clients instead of printing them off. This saves you money, saves you cost of ink cartridges, cost of paper, cost of printers repairing or replacing when they go wrong. It also will dramatically help the environment. You've got less cartridges being wasted and put in landfill. You've got less paper being used, etc. So that's a big win if you switch to being paperless, and a lot of customers will appreciate it if you explain why you're becoming paperless. Number three, metal recycling. This won't apply to all businesses, but it's such a good one. I think it's worth mentioning. If your business generates any metal, like for example, I'm in the motor trade, so there's lots of used car parts, you can actually recycle them. And if you take the time to split the metals apart into, say, aluminium, steel, etc., copper, then you can get more money for it. The better separated they are, the less work the recycling company has to do that you take them to, and the more they'll pay you for your metals. So that's not only a free thing to do, it will decrease landfill, and it will actually bring you in a revenue, so you'll get paid reasonable money for these metals. Number four, Earth Hour. This is something I do. I've done it for a few years now. It doesn't cost a penny, and if you've not heard of it before, basically what it is, it encourages everyone to take part, and for 1 hour of the year you switch everything off, switch all your lights, all your devices, everything off completely, so you're not drawing any power at all. And if the whole world does it, it can make such a big difference. So something I've been doing, as I say, for a few years now, and well worth looking into, having a go. It's around about March time each year. The day is different each year because they try and do it on a weekend, but that will decrease your energy bills again. So another quick win. Number five, decreasing the brightness of your screen. So if you use laptops, for example, quick statistic, if you drop the brightness of your laptop screen from 100% down to 70%, you're actually saving 20% energy. So that's quite a big one and quite a quick win. It's not going to dramatically reduce your visibility on the screen, dropping it to 70%. That's why that's the recommended figure, but it will make a big difference to your energy bill, and probably better for your eyesight too. Next one is to turn down the heating. In the same way as turning down the brightness of your screen, if you turn down the heating slightly in the winter and the air conditioning in the summer, it's not going to make a huge difference just turning it down slightly, but every little helps. It will help with your energy bills, it will help with the environment, and it's really just a case of every little helps. Next one is water usage. So there's a few things that you can do here. I'm going to keep it as one item, but definitely something everyone can do is monitoring your water usage and reducing it. So things like switching off the tap in between brushing your teeth, just trying to turn the tap on slightly less. If you've got any dripping taps, just make sure you turn it off nice and tight. Something else, and quite a big thing, my local water company was giving away something called a saver flush. So it's a bag that you put into your toilet cistern. It's basically a water displacement device. So you pop it in there and the cistern is able to fill up slightly less because the water's already displaced. Therefore, each time you flush, you're saving money, saving water at the same time. Worth reaching out to your local water company. They may well be running the same scheme as mine was. If they're not, it really is just a water displacement thing. So anything that's not going to be harmful, any sort of shape that you can put in there that's not too big to take up some water displacement will definitely work in the same way. My water company was actually giving away shower flow restrictors as well, so well worth looking into that if they do, because that just restricts the flow of water coming to the shower. So quick win there with your water usage. Nice easy one for everyone. It's actually good for you too. So if you walk or cycle wherever you can to minimize the journeys, if you were going to take the car and it's a short journey, if you can walk it, do. If you can cycle it, do. It'll help with your personal health and it will help with the environment too. And you're saving the money on fuel. A short journey like that, the car's not warmed up, you're going to use more fuel. So better all round. So here's one that I personally do. There's a bit of a knack to this and it takes a bit of practice to get it down to as much of a fine art as I have, but I've got it to the point where I don't charge my phone at home. So what I've got is I've got a couple of power banks and I'm on the road a lot in the car, so I make the most of that and I charge my phone whenever I'm in the car. Once the phone's fully charged, disconnect the phone, plug in a power bank. I've got a couple of them, like I say, so it can store quite a bit of power and save it. Have that on charge, so when I get home, if my battery runs down while I'm at home, not in the car, plug into one of the power banks that have been charged up from the car, not drawing any power from the grid and saving on the electricity bill too. So that's one you could certainly put into practice. You don't have to necessarily go as hard as I do on it and try and get to the point where you're not charging from home at all. But you can easily make more of a conscious effort to charge in the car. If you make sure it's charged up in the car, you're going to have to charge up less at home, save your electricity bill and saving the environment at the same time. Win-win. And last but not least, number 10, plan ahead. So nice easy one. If we take energy usage in the car, for example, the use of fuel, if you plan your journeys ahead, then you can easily reduce the amount of fuel you're using by reducing the diversions and taking the most efficient route. So if, for example, you've got to stop for shopping on the way home and you've got to get fuel, if you can plan a route that takes you there so you're not making a separate trip the next day to go and get your shopping, if you do it on the way home from visiting a client or whatever it is you're doing, and just minimize the trips. Think about the next week, what trips you're going to have to do, how much you're going to have to get collecting parts and stuff. If you can put off a journey till tomorrow to tie in two things at once, then it will dramatically decrease your fuel bill and contribute to helping the environment too. So hopefully you found these tips useful. It's just an idea, just to give a little bit of an overview of some really quick, easy things you can do that won't cost a penny. Some of them will actually make you money, the rest will save you money. And just a good thing to monitor your energy usage and just make that little effort. If we all do a little bit, it will help. And interestingly enough, a survey carried out by Funding Circle found that 66% of consumers surveyed would be willing to spend more on a product or service that comes from a sustainable business. So share with your customers what you're doing, talk about the fact that you're trying to be more sustainable. Even if you're just making little efforts, it all helps. And it could help drive more revenue and more customers to your business. Win-win. Hopefully this has been helpful. If it has, like and subscribe. Thanks a lot.